All right, guys, welcome to a shoulder day. I just actually got done recording the chest video, and I ate some food. I got my raw carrot salad. I got some mushrooms in, some mango, milk, and now we're ripping the shoulder day voiceover out. The chest video should be coming out. Yeah, so on this shoulder day, sticking with the same lifts, just the rear delt, fly raises. Starting first with these monster sets. Go to failure, then drop it down here. Go to failure again, and then increase to an extremely heavy weight and do negatives, and then do 2 more drop sets of the negatives for a total of 3 negative sets. Drop that all the way down, do some burnout positives, then we'll do a rest, and then we're gonna do increase the weight just a little bit and do some more positives. And that will be the rep scheme for the rear delt flies, the rear delt raises here, and the lateral raises as well. So only 2 exercises, but it is efficient if you go hard enough. One thing I was thinking about and looking at in between these voiceovers here was the Cracker Barrel incident. Because I believe I was just talking about this. I was literally just talking about this maybe a week ago. I can't remember. Recently. I know I've talked about it. About refinement culture. And this is the exact example or the exact instance where it's applicable. The Cracker Barrel logo and rebranding is heinous. And this is just a perfect example of the war that is being waged on beauty, the war that is being waged on aesthetics. Not only on aesthetics, but the aesthetic intelligence of our society. There is a war that's being waged on it. And most people may think that you're crazy for talking about it. I mean, most people won't pay attention to it. Most people, they're not understanding what's going on. But in your day-to-day life, when you're going through your life and you see these little logos, these symbols, these specific type font faces, when you see all of it combined, the user interface of software like an Android or an iPhone or your stupid car screens, the gigantic screens that are in cars, that user interface, the typeface that's on everything is being remedialized on purpose to make you dumber and to dull, subvert, invert your aesthetic discernment into being able to know and see and perceive what is beautiful and what is ugly. Now I know I have talked about this before, but again, man, this instance of the Cracker Barrel incident, man, it's just so crazy to see how I mean, I think but before Cracker Barrel changed their stupid little logo and their rebranding of the inside of their establishment, I would say that the Overton window has been shifted into just being able to talk about refinement culture and the uglification, the subversion and inversion of beauty. The Overton window has now moved into where it's almost normie talk. And it's becoming more and more people are becoming aware of stuff like that. It's not fully normalized. It's not in the full normie world, but it's very close. And even with this shift in the Overton window, they decided to go ahead and to change and to rebrand, which is just insane. And I think it's one of those things where they're not going to stop. They don't care, and they have their agenda, and they're going to continue to push it. Now, why do I care about this? Why am I talking about this on this channel? I think we all need to try and to strive to create something beautiful. And it's very difficult, but the activity of creation is very special, and it's special to humans to be able to create, and to generate something. It's very special, and I hope with this channel that you guys see that I'm trying to create something that's not only entertaining and provides content, but I hope that the entirety of what I am doing here is striving towards beauty. I hope everything is like it's hard to explain, but if you just start filming something on an iPhone, like if you do fitness content, right, and you do, just for instance, we use fitness for example, we start doing fitness content, and you're just shooting on an iPhone, and you're just posting videos, whatever, yada yada yada. That's one thing, but I feel like what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be not only thoughtful, but also be extremely intentional with the way my videos look, with the quality of the content being provided in a way that is uplifting. It may not be, now what I'm not saying that this is like, you know, the statue of David here, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to get at is, at the bare minimum, the direction and aim of what you are attempting is to put out something. If you're creating something, it should be beautiful. It should be good. And if you're not actively and intentionally trying to make something that is good, man, maybe rethink what you're doing. And I don't think like my stuff is the greatest or the best or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I hope that that the intentionality of what I'm doing it comes across and resonates with people. And I feel like it's almost like a human duty, that if you are creating something or generating something, that you have this duty to try and achieve the best that you can if you're creating something, and to put as much intention and effort as you can into honing your craft, into making it as good or as beautiful as possible. Because this war on beauty, the subversion of and inversion, is very well. One, it's a direct war on God. I've said this before, but God is the ultimate beauty. God is the ultimate goodness, the fount of goodness and the fount of beauty. So when things are specifically and intentionally become uglier, that is a war against God himself. It is extremely hubristic, and it is extremely prideful. The root of that action is extremely prideful and extremely hubristic, to say something along the lines of like, as humans, we can decide what beauty is. We can decide what true goodness is, what is good and what is beautiful. We can create our own, or I can have I can have like a progression in shaping that, or push forward the movement of beauty in a way that's boundary defying or boundary erasing. And that's extremely the intention and the principal action is extremely prideful. Because like I just said, the ultimate beauty, the ultimate goodness, the fount of that is God himself. And when you try to change that, you are setting your own standards for the beauty and for the goodness. And that's a direct war. It's a direct front. And everywhere you go, man, it's happening in our world. Now, I feel like I come on here and I rant a lot about things that are going on. But one thing I really want to hammer down is the importance of like not being a doomer or being black-pilled. The point is that I saw this guy's tweet. I forgot who it was. Is that if there are problems, if there are problems, there's always going to be problems. There are always going to be some sort of problem, which would necessarily mean that there's always going to be a solution. So there's always a solution to the problems, always. And I think that focusing on the solutions, just the solutions, being solution focused, man, is so important about your attitude and outlook towards that. Another book I have not read yet, but I know I'm gonna have to read, is Our Thoughts Determine Our Lives by Elder Thaddeus, I believe, of Vitvonica. I think that's what it is. Yeah, Elder Thaddeus of Vitvonica. I think that's how you say it. But the attitude of always looking towards a solution, or just the attitude of knowing that there is always a solution, I think that starting point and that change, that shift, is seriously so important for our generation, for the people of this time, for young people just in general. That we need to be just focused on the solutions about what you can control and how you can control the outcome. And that's all you can do. So if you are doing something and you have some sort of creative endeavor, I think that's why it's your duty and your responsibility to try and create something as good as possible, as beautiful as possible. At least that's the end goal. That is the target. Now, it doesn't matter if your first renditions or your first actions of creating stuff is shit. It's probably going to be, but that's not the problem. The problem is if you change your target, if you lower your ambitions, that's the problem. The ceaseless striving for greatness, or the ceaseless striving for beauty and for good in a creative endeavor, that should be the main goal, man. And I've said this before, but the coral is the quarry. The struggle for that attainment is the prize. So as long as that is the end goal, as long as that is the target, you can't really lose, man. Because you also know that with something like that, you also know that the end goal is so far down the road, that it occupies your mind, it occupies your time, and everything is focused around this end goal, which takes care of the little day-to-day things, which in turn results, in days, weeks, months, years, accumulating these habits of striving towards this goodness and for this beauty. So solutions have to be your main focus, even if everything else is becoming extremely ugly. That it's your duty to try and put out something good and something beautiful back into the world that has so much ugliness and subversion and inversion in it. But ultimately, the ultimate solution is obviously the church. That's obviously the ultimate solution. That's the number one ultimate beauty. That's the ultimate goodness is the church. I don't think that's heretical to say that, but that's the ultimate solution, man. Is the Orthodox. That is the ultimate solution. Because Saint Paisios had a great quote that I try and think about all of the time, and it really has impacted me greatly. Is that if I did not know that God had the last say in anything, or if I did not know that God had the last answer, or had the last say, or had the last judgment in all these things, I would go mad living in this world. So that is the ultimate solution, man. The knowledge of that end goal, the knowledge of that aim, that is the ultimate solution. So for the day-to-day tasks that we have in the creative generation of something, it also would have to follow that we have to try and create something as beautiful as possible and as good as possible. Going back to nutrition, the one thing about this Peat Diet that I'm still trying to figure out are the micronutrients, man. The calcium to phosphate ratio, the magnesium, the sodium, and the calcium. The progesterone, the pregnenolone, whatever it is, and suppressing the estrogen. I think something like that is only I'm able to figure out over time, over months. And I think I've talked about this before, but that's just something that I'm gonna have to tinker with and figure out over time, especially with the supplementation for calcium. Right now, my calcium to phosphate ratio is like a 1.2 to a 1 ratio of calcium to phosphate, and I think Ray Peat talks about it's got to be a 1-to-1 minimum, up to a 2-to-1 calcium to phosphate ratio. But I don't see in any other way how you get to a 2-to-1 ratio without supplementing calcium, because like everything has phosphate in it. So these micronutrients are just going to take some time to figure out. I would like to get blood work done here soon. Hopefully that's in the cards here soon, so that I can check everything out and make sure everything's squared away. You might also have been seeing me do these. Just put my hand up here on this little bar. It's because I'm doing a static hold after my monster sets. So we're now getting some posing in. Yes, you will see me only do basically my left side for most of my posing routines, for let's say my shoulders or arms. That's just because I had a shoulder surgery when I was younger, and my mind muscle connection is way worse on my right side. So I think my right side may have atrophy, a little bit of an atrophy, just from the mind muscle connection not being as good. So that's that. We're still keeping the main thing. Hopefully Schmicky will be back here soon to get some live streams. Hopefully we can get some sponsorships going and pick up a Mercedes diesel wagon soon. It's been real hot here in the South Bay, man. It's been blistering hot. Gonna get in the sun, gonna get jacked, gonna get tan. Play some Fortnite, and yep, see you guys in the next one.